can't let the air just suck you in like that. That's just awful. Watch your step around here. Says it's good to see you again. He's Goop. You might remember him from the old days when he tried to teach you how to swim. Goop says you were always so righteous as a child, and he can still feel it, even at a distance. Goop says memories fade surprisingly fast. We are all pieces of what we remember. He can't tell you much, as he didn't want to hear anything about it. He can't understand how someone could be so vicious, even though he knows there are reasons behind it. He understands you've returned to face Lupa Lupin. That's the destiny you've been carrying within yourself all these years. He says that the catastrophe back then didn't vanquish the good in you. It's still there, as bright as when you were a child. Now the time has come for you to remember and act. Your life is your life. He understands why you seek revenge, but he doesn't think you realize how that'll make you feel once you claimed it. Can hardly believe the world is going to make it. Wonders what that's going to do to the goo. Thanks you for doing everything you could to de-goop the surf. Thinks the Myriad made a good match with you. You're both like sunshine on the surf. But hey, back to the goo. Knows yesterday is already gone. It's what you do today and tomorrow that'll move you forward. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the Subnautica station, as the pollution has worn down the insulation of his suit, so you must salvage enough scrap to fix up his goo glide, starting with the old wreck box outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the goo glide strong enough to fight the Porky Puff. It's not that it won't keep your head above the surface, but it needs improving to carry you across the thick goo out by the Porky Puff. Let's see. There's a lot on the line here. charged him. Stand against that. Biohazard makes your skin crawl. The Toxanol's offshore drilling caused oily matter to spread with the rain and contaminate both the groundwater and open surf. The long-lasting effect this had on the evolution of wildlife was, as we know now, the only reason we came to exist. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. He's got the goo glide functional. You'll have a pull hook and a salvage net, but no... There are lots of valuables left behind on the surf floor that the salvage net will enable you to haul. You just need to find the right spots. Goop says Gizmo's devised a cannon for the goo glide, but instead of bullets, it flips quacks, squeaky distractions for the triple attentive Porky Puff, which will give you time to get yourself in position. The best way to find quacks is to talk to Gulp. He has the bearings of the surf archipelago and knows where the quacks like to float. This means you'll have the privilege of visiting Gulp in the Sinky Dink. He'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find Quacks. That's where he bobs. Gulp refuses to move from that barge, despite the fact it makes him burf. Goop's not sure, though, if it's the surf sickness or the radium syrup that causes it. Darkness cloaks the world. See where the goo takes you. Feel that thing thrum? Had enough of that? Ready to ride? Look at that metal scrap over there.
Piappo, nebekköl.
Says the state of the goo has grossed over time. It's a miracle anything still lives in it.
Adrolneoma trajo, edro jodub.
It's hard for all sorts of guppo to breathe while coated in gunk, not to mention swim.
Tulo, mudre majo.
If it wasn't for Gil, who gives them a good scrub now and then,
Toi tapletsia.
figures you can find Gil at Burble Bottom. Never leaves his little oasis for long.
La soraya fa, te me fafa.
Says there's a lot of shore, but you look for a clean part of it.
Petuyo tutumayo.
He tries to clean things up to give the guppo a chance.
Petuyo tutumayo.
Good to see someone care about a dying world.
Me kumakul.
Figures Gil would appreciate that. Don't forget the past. Learn from it. Let's see. Says the tribe Sifu sent them here to help defend against the rival tribe that's been terrorizing their village. Isn't sure how long the village will last if it continues. As if the plague ruining the land and destroying the crops wasn't enough to bring the village... That's what they call the blight that's been haunting the land since the old world ended in the apocalypse. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. Yawns about how early it is, especially for a sleepyhead. Wants to know how much good you think you can actually do in a ruined world. Hopes to see you again soon. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. Sparkles about how brilliant it wishes you goodbye. The Sifu asked you to understands you have found some e-waste. Worthwhile. It's getting lighter out. They want to even things, but wonders if you might be a real hero kind. Thinks the Looper Lupin would eat anything, maybe even... You should be able to find the Lotus Captain, always around the other Lotus. Wants you to take down that Lotus. Figures only you have the power to hold that Captain's... Cheers you on, and thank... There are some gorgeous colors returning to the world. Has no doubt you've earned the trust and support of this village. Actions speak louder than words. Is always willing to listen. You did good here. Says you'll meet again. Ja. Let's see. He's pretty sure he's heard of you before, although the details are maybe a little hazy. He wonders if you have something for him to drink. Points out that he's hungry too, but always thirsty for more. Says you look like you've got a powerful thirst to do something in this world. Good, bad, not really sure, but it seems like you've been drinking in your destiny and liking the flavor. Wonders if you could take the time to help a man slake his own thirst. You'd be doing him a liquid solid. You're a do-gooder, so you know you want to. Either way, he hopes you find a way to wet your whistle before the world comes to an awful dry end and leaves us all thirsting for more. Says life's like a mystery drink. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes it's awful. But either way, you can't stop drinking till you're dead. Sure, that's the point. But you can't stop trying new ones, or life gets dull. Wants to raise a glass to you getting the world fixed up a bit. Respects how you always try to help, no matter that the world's fate is hard to swallow. Sees why you joined up with the Myriad. They like a peaceful drink, just like you. Says he sells them drinks. They mostly suck them down on their own. But who cares about them? Says you'd be as bummed out as him if you came for the hot stuff. The Glugmocker, Nimhimbibble, and his favourite radium syrup. That one's even more intoxicating now, aged in truck tankers and all. Without a drink, and radium syrup especially, he can't move, much less think, as the power of his mind is directly proportioned to the quantity of syrup he swigs. That's why he's called Gulp. The drink helps him forget the state the world is in, but it only lasts until tomorrow. The world is still doomed, even if the sun goes. Says that's what gives your internal such a great glow. He wants you to know he has other interests too. He's the Surf Archipelago's self-proclaimed ornithologist, for example. There are other ways than a cold drink to relieve stress, even in these dark times, and, fortunately for you, watching pippies flap is calming, but better yet are the ones you can look at and touch, like quacks. They're better at floating than flapping, so you should be able to net a few without growing yourself a pair. Being over the waves beats being beneath them. Ready to live at your own speed. In flames. That's some good e-waste there. Wishes you would just give up and let the world burn. It's a rare sight. Treasure it. Wildlife here is teetering on the brink of extinction. The meat-eater again. Nothing seems to satiate his hunger. The gnat is done for unless you intervene. Best part of this ride is it runs on green stuff. Look at that plastic scrap, just waiting for someone to do something with it. This is a quarrel spot. So many wars have been fought over this patch of dirt. What a waste. Listen to that jet roar. The Quack Hollow. It's just lonely. That's shut and good. The right key could open this. A smart foe would leave now. The scrap keeps piling up. Perfect for making a sideways rain of slugs. You could put that to good use. hardly ever see those. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. With luck, it'll keep you out of the goo. That's enough quacks to sustain the Googlide flipper with infinite ammunition. Goop says he was there when the Porky Puff took Out of Date's leg, so this World Eater has made it personal. After that, Out of Date started using his head instead of his legs and came up with the plan on how to best make a stand against the World Eaters, and it wasn't by foot. He seems happy to talk. Says the Chugyard is where you can find Gizmo and his mechanical hardware. Says you'll see each other later. He seems happy to talk. Seems surprised you have to go.